Hey guys, Jack on Wrist here, back with another video, and in today's video, I want to talk about the future of the watch industry. Now more specifically, I want to discuss a trend that I'm seeing within the watch world that I think has some major implications on the watch community as a whole and the everyday consumer. So without further ado, the trend that I'm noticing within the watch world that I think has some major implications are luxury brands going down market. Now, what do I mean by that specifically? Well, as background, I'm sure all of you guys know the huge problem that we have in the watch world today, which is sort of artificial demand and low supply, creating these crazy inflated prices and also very low availability. And it just makes it a very difficult buying process, and it really makes it difficult to be into the hobby of watches. I mean, let's face it, in a perfect world, there would be no barriers to entry in the watch community other than the simple price tag on the watch itself. Now, there's good news. Over the past couple of years, we've seen some major changes in regard to that space. Now, obviously, brands like Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet and even Rolex are pretty much staying pat in terms of keeping their sort of artificial scarcity in play. But examples are out there that I think are really encouraging for signs of, more availability and lower prices and just an overall better experience for the watch consumer. There's one particular example that I really want to talk about later in this video that I think has the greatest impact on the watch community going forward. Now, some of those examples of some positive signs of this changing in the watch world are ones that you already know about, and I'll talk about them very quickly. Number one is Tudor. Everyone knows about Tudor. They've been around for obviously many, many years, but have really had a renaissance over the past 5 to 10 years or so. Again, without really overdoing it, you guys know Tudor is amazing. They have relatively moderate prices. Obviously they're in the sort of mid-tier luxury space. They have in-house movements, basically have Rolex quality, and are actually readily available, at least for the most part. You can walk into a boutique of any kind, obviously they have to sell a Tudor, and you can buy it without any major issues, which is a huge, huge deal. So the renaissance of Tudor is really domino number one. But domino number two is Omega and their Moon Swatch collection. Again, you guys already know a lot about this, so I don't want to harp on it too much. But that was also, in my opinion, huge for the watch community. Now, everyone has split opinions on whether the Moon Swatch is really a worthwhile purchase and whether it devalues the brand and all the different parts of the experience with that. But I will say it really did expose a lot of watch buyers to Omega as a brand, people that probably would not have been able to afford an Omega or something with Omega on it in the past. That was really Omega and Swatch's very unique way of going down market. Now, obviously they didn't go just down market, they went absolutely rock bottom, and really getting to that, entry level price point. They kind of skipped the middle that Tudor really kind of exists in. But they did something that I think is really important for the watch world. Now, you guys already know about those first two examples of luxury brands going downstream and making something that is more readily available, more affordable, and really just have a better value than really some of those higher luxury items. And this third example, I think, really is the final domino that will create a cascade effect on the rest of the watch industry, or at least I really hope it does. Now, this magical final piece of the puzzle is what Breitling is doing. Now, as you guys may know, Breitling, I believe just last year, bought Universal Genève. Now, again, you guys already probably know that's a really fantastic brand, some really iconic pieces that really dates back, many, many years. And so their revitalization of Universal Genève is a huge, exciting point for watch fans. And I think it has the opportunity to become basically the Tudor to Breitling's Rolex. Breitling has the opportunity to not only elevate their own brand by sort of being the dad, in the situation and having the son of Universal Genève, but they also have the opportunity to really create a lot of sales and really, fill the same gap that Tudor fills, which is awesome watches with great movements that are readily available and moderately priced. But really where this gets even more exciting for me is what Breitling did just last month. They bought Gallet, which is a really, really old watch manufacturer that has also, just like Universal Genève, a awesome back catalog of pieces to look at. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be some expert on the brand Gallet. I'm not super familiar with the brand, but what I did say before stands true. It is a real significant brand with a real significant history. They have some true provenance to their identity. And I think it is just another really exciting way for Breitling to kind of creep into that Tudor mid-tier luxury space that is truly available for the modern watch consumer. Something that is really meeting the demands of what we want, which are, again, quality watches with brands that have real provenance that are actually available at retail prices. I think Breitling's acquisition of Universal Genève and Gallet really has the chance to create a ripple effect on the rest of the watch world. Now, I totally understand that brands like Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet are probably not going to create more readily available brands probably not going to be buying out old brands and trying to revitalize them in the same way that Breitling is themselves. But I do think there are lots of opportunities within the watch world for people and brands rather to take advantage of what Breitling is doing and capture that magic and recreate it themselves. And so I really hope that other brands out there can follow this sort of game plan, because I think it is really exciting for consumers. Now, again, I'm also a little early on this train. We haven't seen any of the watches from Universal Genève or Gallet actually come out in the retail space, in actuality, but I do think that the writing is on the wall, and the watch world, the greater watch world, knows what we want. And I think the success of Tudor has sort of pointed towards that. And I think that this move with Breitling is also very much following in Tudor's footsteps. I'm also very curious to see what you guys have to say in the comment section down below. Number one, do you guys like this idea and this model by Breitling to revitalize these old brands and try to bring them back to light and potentially capture a part of the market that is sort of underserved? And number two, do you guys actually want to see this? Do you want to see these old brands sort of fulfilling this part of the market? Maybe you're like me and that's exciting for you and you want to see these old brands come back to life. But I can also see someone saying, hey, I don't want to see any more reissues because that's too common within the watch world. I know brands like Timex tend to do this a lot. They look into their back catalog and they reissue things, and that's really cool on one level because you get to see, sort of a new interpretation of an older watch. But on another token, you also probably want to see some more creative new models, not just rehashes of what's already been done. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'm really curious to see what you have to say. I'm so excited to respond. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed, I would really appreciate it if you can give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, as there's lots of watch content coming your way. All right, see you in the next one. Take care.